I'm excited to introduce today's guest, Kerrie Alexander. She's the founder and designer behind KerrieALDO, a slow fashion label based in Dundee. Since 2014?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Officially.
Yeah. Kerrie crafts high quality handmade outerwear and accessories using locally sourced fabrics, including wax cotton from Hallie Stevenson, who've been in Dundee for over 160 years. Kerrie's work is the perfect balance between style and sustainability, and her pieces are made to last forever. She works on like a made to order or some collections as well, and a one of one custom designs too. Kerrie's attention to detail, passion for ethical design, and dedication to keep craftsmanship local in Dundee is inspiring. And I'm so excited to hear a bit of her story. So thank you for joining us, Kerrie.
Thanks for having me.
So obviously I've just gave you a little bit of an intro on your business, but have I missed anything? Do you think that's pretty much?
I think that's a good summary of what I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good considering we've
But
been
probably-
doing your posts
yeah.
for a very long time.
Better than I could summarize.
Okay, so just to let everyone know, me and Kerrie have been working together for was Mark born? I think yeah.
But he's almost 6, so
Yeah.
probably nearly 6 years. Yeah.
So yeah, we helped Kerrie with like newsletter templates at the start, and then we started managing our social media. We took a break when Kerrie went on maternity, and then now we're doing it again.
And I think one of the reasons I first got in touch as well was the V&A launch.
Oh yeah,
we wanted to kind of make the most of.
We did like a launch
showcasing that collaboration as well. So
I forgot
one
about
of the
that.
earlier ones we did together.
Okay, so we'll start with like a fun couple of questions to get you into it. What did you want to do when you were younger?
Oh, I don't really know. There was nothing. I didn't really ever have a plan of what I wanted to do. I was just always really into art and drawing, and like I do remember when I was wee, like drawing, we used to make like, you know how you used to get the catalogue books.
Yeah.
Me and my cousin used to like draw our own and make up prices and stuff like that. But it was never something that I thought, well, I want to do that when I'm older. It was just I was always doing me creative things, mainly drawing and like crafty stuff. But I never really had any kind of plan of what I wanted to do when I was
I take it you didn't know that you wanted to have a business.
No.
Kind of just happened. Yeah.
Yeah. No plan. Even like university, I didn't even know, like, my mum and dad never really pushed us in any direction. They just kind of went with what I enjoyed and whatnot. So I didn't even know university was an option because nobody really talked about it. It wasn't until like one of the college lecturers said like, what are you going to do after college? And I didn't even know, and then that's kind of led on.
Did you go to college after school?
Mm-hmm.
To do like portfolio?
Tried to do portfolio too. I wanted to go to Duncan and Jordanson to do fine art.
I did the exact same.
Did you?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
But I hated the portfolio course. Sorry. But I didn't enjoy it at all. It's like, I'm not doing this. That's how I did marketing. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realise that.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's when I then got a wee introduction to the textiles.
Yeah, I like that module.
Sparked my interest more.
Yeah.
Kind of led me in a different direction, I suppose. Because
you went to Harriet Watt, didn't you? Yeah. What is your coffee order? I don't actually know this.
Usually oat milk latte.
Oh, yeah.
Or I quite like an iced one. But
Okay. What would you say is your most used emoji for your brand?
There's a few. I know emojis are not really that cool anymore, but I can't stop using them.
Yeah, I still use them, but I feel like
probably like the wee guy with sunglasses.
That's what I was thinking.
Or the peace sign.
Yeah.
One of those two. Probably.
Yeah, I always use the cool emoji for you. We're going to chat about the backstory, so like how you got here, what jobs you've had to get you here, because I feel like you always just hear people speak about their business, but you didn't just wake up one day and start this. So what jobs did you have before like how did you get to starting KerrieALDO?
Well, I've never actually worked full time for anyone else ever, which is a bit weird, but I feel like that's helped me in a way because I've never had something I've really relied on then take the big jump, if you know what I mean. So my first jobs were all just your usual when you're a student, like worked in shops, cafes, restaurants, that sort of thing. So nothing really with any relevant experience for what I do now. And then when I finished uni, I started doing like 1 day a week working with Hayley Scanlon, another local designer, and I also got a job doing fashion workshops in schools, which was with a charity, which it just wasn't for me, but it felt more relevant to like.
Was it high schools?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it just wasn't for me. I did it for maybe 6 months or so, and then Hayley was looking for someone else to work with her, and I asked if I could do that. So I started working for Hayley like 3 days, and I dropped that other job. So, and then when I was doing that, I was working on my own thing, but it was never really a business at that stage. It was just like, I want to make sure I make time to do my own designs as well. And then that's kind of how it gradually happened from there, because I was like still getting all the sewing experience and I was doing patterns and stuff at Hayley, so I was keeping all my skills going after uni. And then I made a coat and sold it, and it was just like from there it was like post a photo of it just on Instagram or Twitter at the time as well. And then it just kind of went word of mouth from there, and people started asking.
So you kind of, it's not like you had the idea for the business, it was kind of born itself as such.
It was like I had kind of created some coat patterns that I was using at my uni collection.
Yeah.
And I was just really building on that and kind of went from there really. Until it got to the point where I thought I could probably, I suppose, like talking to other people as well. There was like a photographer who done my first shoot. He was like, "Oh, we should do a shoot of your stuff," and like we did a swap. And that was like in 2014 when I officially launched the website.
Is that like kind of shoot with like the dog and stuff?
No, that was a later one. This one was like, funnily enough, on that car park, the Bell Street car park.
Oh yeah.
I've still got all those images. So then I kind of worked towards creating a collection for the photo shoot and worked on a website and all that. So it was kind of a building stepping stones up to that point. But even then, I still worked with Hayley for maybe a couple of years after that and did it kind of part-time, mainly part-time her.
That was my next question. So it obviously started as like a side hustle as such. And then what did you do? Like, how did you manage to take the jump to go full time?
I think just like it still is always my busiest time, like leading up to Christmas, and I'd had a couple of like busy Christmas times where it was a bit unmanageable, but it was only, that short spell. And then it was coming up to like that time of year again, and I thought I don't think I could manage both now. So like I loved working with Hayley, and it was because it's good working with other people as well. And,
and your styles are both so different, but I bet you learned so much from Hayley.
So like I didn't really want to leave, but I just thought I can't actually do it all. So that's kind of what forced us to take the jump.
So a fun fact, I remember we'd worked together, it must have been doing the V&A launch plan, and I was still working full time, I must have been. Or maybe it was just before that, and I said to you, how did you go self-employed? Because I don't know how to make the jump, and I still repeat what you said to me to other people. You said to me, when you work for yourself, your work will just come to you because it's your sole focus as such, and you've obviously got more time to speak about it. And it's true, because
totally.
when I handed in my notice and was like, right, I'm going to do this full time, inquiries just came. And I always remember you telling me that way back in 2020, and I still tell people that to this day.
That's good. Good to know. But it is really true, because there's been like since then there's been one other time that I've had another job, which was when we moved to Leeds,
Oh yeah.
for like my other half's work, and I was working full time for myself, so we went down, got set up a studio down there and whatnot, and it was all fine. And then like 6 months after we moved, he got sent up to Inverness. And I was like, at Leeds on my own, barely knew anyone.
Yeah.
So I got a wee weekend job, but it was really for the purpose of like just filling the time at the weekends. But I didn't really know people, and but it only lasted a few months because
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
fell out with the manager. Because
I
clearly
can't imagine you
I
falling
can't
out
work
with
for other people
anyone.
clearly enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, and even then I did notice it does take a wee chunk of your brain space away, even if it's like that wasn't anything intense, it was just like in a shop. But
Yeah, it's hard to like focus on something else when you spend what 40-30 hours a week. Was I know yours was part-time, but anybody else that's working full-time. So the once you'd left Haley and you were like, we're focused on KerrieALDO for full-time, what did I feel like people miss out like the messy middle. So especially with like you guys, so seeing your like campaign photos and stuff, you've got a collection, it's like you've got it all together, but what was it like in the background?
God, it's a bit of a blur, to be honest. I had, at that point, when I left working for Haley, I had this tiny wee space in Wasps. It was part of like a I think it was five. It was like a huge room, but it was split into 5 bays. So my bay, all I had space for was the big, huge cutting table.
Oh yeah.
And 2 machines, and it was like a wee, tiny wee walkway in between. Like you wouldn't even believe the size. So that's what I was doing. I was doing all my work from that tiny wee space. But I was like so happy to have my own studio, because before that I started from my mum's spare room. So like when I started full time on my own, that's like where I was working from. And then not long after that we moved to Leeds. So yeah, I don't know, I was just figuring everything out on the way, like
like your website and stuff, like
website was just
Google it.
Yeah, well, Dale, other half, is quite handy with computers and stuff, so I did like as much as I could, but I had a wee bit of help. It was just a Wix site at the time, so yeah.
And did you get orders through the website?
Yeah, I did, but it wasn't like you expect to launch and then just be like orders. But it did take a while. I was still more custom stuff that was coming through, because it was a shift to be like, these are the ready-made styles that you can order, whereas before that it was only custom stuff. So it took a wee while to kind of get people used to that and build more confidence and stuff like that.
And in terms of like getting traffic to the website, what were you just posting on Instagram and Twitter at the time?
Yeah, there was no strategy whatsoever.
Do you still post on Twitter?
No, not.
When it's X. Yeah, no.
I think my profile's still there, but I don't have the app or anything.
Yeah. A lot of people say that.
I do feel like in the early days though, like I used to put up my personal email address. It was linked to my Twitter bio.
Yeah.
And people would email me and they'd found it on Twitter. So there was people that did find it through there at the start, but don't really think it's the same now. And I feel like
it was easy to like build loads of followers on Twitter as well. Like,
I don't even think, I didn't actually have that many. I don't know what I've got on there. Like I say, don't use it, but it wasn't like loads of people that were on it, but there was people that found it through that. And then I kind of felt like Instagram and Facebook were better. So but that's really all. There was no strategy as such. Like even like there was no email list or anything. Well, I think I maybe did start that early, but I didn't know what I was doing with it. I was just kind of collecting it. So yeah, it was mainly just word of mouth and then posting on Instagram and Facebook. That was really it. It was not any grand plan.
So we've obviously been asking like my audience about what they want to hear as such from something like this. So the messy middle, like we've just spoke about, is what they've said that they want to know what you were doing until you got here, because I think people think because everything you do is so good, I think your brand can be perceived as it's a lot bigger than what it is. So what would you tell people that are in like they're still building it? What would like your one piece of advice be? And maybe in like your sector or any business, I guess.
I think like one piece of advice would be like, I mean, even like what you were saying about having another job or the jump or whatever, like I'd be careful about what you take on to earn money, because
Yes,
there's loads of things. I have done, like earlier on, I have done loads of other things, but you don't realise how much it takes away from what you're trying to build. And then sometimes if you do something that's not quite what you want to do and you show it off, then more people are going to contact you about that, and that's not really what path you want to go down. So that would be my advice, to be conscious of like, or even if you need to take extra work, then maybe don't show it off.
Yeah.
If it's not
like you still need to put food on the table, but you need to think about.
Well, sometimes you do, even now, sometimes you need to do stuff that's not 100%
on
it's going to
brand.
be. But yeah, it would be just to be a bit cautious, and sometimes you've got to say no to stuff. Which is hard to do in the early days. Because you don't know what's coming next.
I 100% agree with that.
And if you're full time relying on it for like your income and stuff, then it's difficult.
There's sometimes I've taken on projects where I've had a gut feeling, but I do it anyway or whatever, especially when I've got a team now as well, like I have to pay them. But most of the times it's actually cost you more time and money because it just doesn't work out the way you thought it was going to be. And I've also noticed like once you let the projects go, something else better always comes along.
That you would have maybe had to say no to if you took it on. So
you've really got to stay true to what it is that you're doing. Okay, so business and mindset. I know you'll not like this question, but what do you think makes you a good businesswoman? Kerrie doesn't like speaking herself up, so something like that.
Oh, I don't know. Like I
obviously,
don't really see myself as I know I am, but it's not really what I would call myself, a business person as such. But
you're obviously really creative, like that. And you're amazing at what you do, but you have made a business out of it. So it's not like this is just a hobby that you do. So there must be something that. Do you not know?
I don't really know. I would need to think about it a bit more.
I think you're. I know you're always saying like you're all over the place, but I think sometimes you know what you want to do. Like you're so focused on the brand and what it is and what it should be. I think that's why it's been such a success. I know that's not like businessy, but I think if it was wishy washy, it wouldn't have maybe been as successful. Do you know what I mean? Like you are really set on what KerrieALDO is.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair. I just find it's quite hard to look from the outside and to see what it is. But
I'd say you're really, you know what you want to do and what the brand is and who would shop it and things like that. I think a lot of creatives don't know that. They just create. And do you know what I mean? Okay. How do you deal with difficult days in business?
I think it's just one of those things where you learn over time. Like, I still have bad days now where it's more like a productivity, and you've just got to accept that some days you're going to be more like, some days you'll be much more productive, and other days you might just not be able to get going in the same way. So I feel like it's just a case of not beating yourself up on the days where you're not achieving what you're hoping to achieve in that day or that week. And taking a step back and just looking at the bigger picture, I guess. Yeah.
I think that's so important. I do that as well. You can't beat yourself up. Like, life just gets in the way.
And then you think about it, because I think because Dale's got such a normal job, then you realise, like, any job, everyone's like that. So there's, you know what I mean, everyone's got,
like, even if you were working
just,
in,
it
like,
feels different because you're working for yourself
Yeah.
and creating your own
the pressure's
income
on
and
you.
whatnot.
Yeah.
So whereas other jobs, it's like, oh, if they've had a bad day but they're still getting their same salary, whereas it might affect yours if you have a
Yeah.
worse day.
I sometimes
But
get
it's
so
just
jealous
accepting it.
of Chris, like, just going and sitting at a desk and someone telling him, like, this is what you're doing today. I'm like, I'm so jealous of that, because I've always got to think what I'm doing, what you're doing, what Neve's doing, like,
Keep it all ticking
keep
over.
it going. How, well, this actually leads on pretty well. How do you switch off from work, Kerrie? Do you struggle with it, or?
Not as much as I used to. Definitely used to struggle to switch off earlier on. What I do now is I don't have my emails on my phone at all. So if I'm not in the studio, I'm not looking at my emails. I'm not doing it. And that does help, because you're thinking, what if this customer haven't had their order yet, and just not having that coming through at a time, especially since having the kids. Like, if I'm like making their tea or out on a day out with them and I get an email that stresses me out, then it's going to affect
your time with them. Yeah.
So that is like been like a really positive thing that I do, that's part of my routine. And my work, I'm not really traditionally 9 to 5, like, especially with the kids' arrangements and stuff. My days can be a wee bit mixed up, depending what's going on. So not having that constant interruption of things that I need to deal with when I'm working, is one of the ways that helps me switch off. But in other ways, it's just kind of accepting that it is part of it as well. Because maybe I'm on my phone and a message comes through and somebody's like, oh, can I come and get this? And I've got to kind of be a wee bit flexible. So it's just a balance of the two, where
that's so true. You've got to, I think, when you obviously you need to put things in place to switch off, but when you put pressure on yourself to completely switch off, it's not realistic.
Yeah.
And sometimes,
and you've got to remember, like,
it's just,
it's not that I would feel rude, but like, nobody really owes you your business and your custom and things like that. So I think it's like good to have a good relationship with your customers and stuff as well, which sometimes it means you might need nip down on a day that wasn't planning to work or that sort of thing, which is totally fine.
And not only that, it just helps your sanity as well. Like, sometimes I'll work for a few hours on a Sunday,
and then you don't,
and then I'm like, I just feel better.
Yourself. Yeah, definitely. So
as long as I'm not doing it every week.
I think it's just being aware of it.
That's just part of the parcel.
Yeah.
So somebody actually requested me to ask you this question. It was somebody else. It's like, they're an artist, but obviously in the creative industry. How do you stop? So obviously this was a passion project, like building your KerrieALDO. How do you stop that from becoming stressful and like not enjoying it anymore when it's your business?
I don't know. Like, I still really enjoy doing it.
Like,
I don't know if there's
stuff.
I don't know if there's like any way I've specifically helped not being stressful. Like, it is stressful at times.
But you've not lost like the love for it.
No, not at all. No. The things that stress me out are more like
the business
communication side of things, and keeping up with admin and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, I don't know. I don't really know.
That's good though that you still enjoy that. And I suppose because you work, like, you're not the type of brand that just creates collections for the sake of it. So you're not on like the rat race of like.
I think that was a good point actually, because see, when I was starting out, you're like, at one point I was thinking, like, what should I be doing? So taking that out of the equation is probably a good tip, because I did think for the first few years, like, I should be doing this, or maybe I should do this, which, say, like, creating however many regular collections a year, and it's just not possible when you're on your own. So you've just got to remember what your own limits are, and that you're not comparing to like a big brand or a big shop that's got like hundreds of people working for them, or
Yeah.
or comparing to anyone that you see online, because you don't really know like
Yeah.
what the behind the scenes are and what the realities of, you know, what they're getting out of their business as well. So
Yeah,
that's probably a good tip, because it's so easy to be like, oh,
We
they've
should
got 20 orders going out one day, and like, what
Yeah.
am I doing wrong?
Yeah.
That sort of thing. You don't even know what's true
And I
when you're
guess
online.
I
You
know.
just need to think about what you need to be like comfortable for your business. And
I guess as well, like, not just churning out collections for the sake of it, is that wouldn't be on brand for you anyway. Like, it's not what it's about. Like, somebody could have bought a KerrieALDO jacket back in 2014 and they should still be wearing it today. So, yeah. Okay. What is one good thing about running your own business and one thing that drives you mad?
It's probably the same thing. It's good that drives you mad. It's like the freedom and the flexibility.
Yeah.
Is like, because I will tell you, I still have a moment every now and again where I'm like, I wish I just had a normal job.
Yeah, I do that.
I know that for a fact I couldn't have a normal job now.
Yeah.
Like, so the freedom and flexibility is the best thing about having your own business. But in that same breath, it's hard to take the freedom and flexibility sometimes, where, like I said to the other day, like, I don't remember the last time I've had a day off just to not have anything. Like, I have had days off, so I'm not being a total one, but not just like a day with no other commitments, that I could just have a day.
Yeah, like just sit and watch TV or
yeah, like a day like that. Whereas it's hard to take days like that when you're like, oh, but I could get that done that day.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say that's like a bit of, there's good points to that and bad points to that.
Yeah, I agree. What would you do differently, Kerrie, if you were starting again?
I feel like if I was starting again, I would get a bit more savvy on the business side, because I was just winging it, and still am to a certain extent. But even things like pricing, like just the most basic things, like there was no proper like structure to it or anything like that. So I feel like it'd be getting ahead of stuff like that, and just.
Do you get taught that at uni? Do they teach you?
Well, not on the course I did. Maybe there's some.
Yeah,
but I feel like the course I did, it wasn't like a course that was designed to lead you into your own business. It was a course was designed for you to work for somebody else. It was called Fashion Design for Industry. So
okay,
I see why there wasn't anything like that. But yeah, I've not, like, I was just years behind on catching up on stuff like that. That's always been the stuff that would stress me out, like doing the tax return or all that kind of stuff. I would learn about it sooner and try and get ahead of that feeling, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Or like feeling like you don't have a clue. So yeah, that's what I would do better, just because and I still am, I'm more focused on the making side of things, whereas more recently it's not really a choice at this stage. You've got to kind of know what's coming in, what's going out, and like what your plan or rough plan for the year is and stuff like that. So it would probably be trying to do that sooner.
So my next question was, what is your the most challenging part of your job that you've probably, would you say that is, like the business side?
I don't know, like I actually am quite good at, I do think I'm alright at certain parts. It's not like I can't do any of the business side of it. I feel like the things I struggle with more is anything that's got like jargony stuff. Like, for example, I went through that EU shipping, that new rule, like that nearly sent me into meltdown, because it's just so out of my comfort zone. I didn't understand some of what it meant and the implications and all that sort of stuff. Like, that's the kind of stuff that I get a bit overwhelmed with. But again, I've managed to get it done. So, but that's the kind of thing I would put off, put off, and put off.
Yeah.
And even sometimes emails, which I'm sure you know, like I don't know what it is because it's really not that hard.
What
to email? Just communicating with people. I don't know. Even like sometimes the customs, it's like I'm excited about making the coat
Yeah.
and picking the fabrics, but it's the back and forth and all that sort of stuff. I wish that I didn't have to do that part.
Yeah.
Like I feel like it's much easier if I just speak to somebody in person.
Yeah.
Which is just not always possible. But
yeah, I feel that. Are there any like wins or like things you've done that really stick out over the years, like successes?
do you know what? It does feel like a bit of a blur, and like you say, I feel like from the outside looking in, it probably looks a lot bigger than it is. But yeah, there's loads I've been
You've
proud
done
of.
loads, yeah. You've collaborated with the V&A,
Yeah,
3-4 times?
yeah, that was a big one.
I've done a lot.
Yeah, I've done a lot over the years. It does just feel like a blur, and it's been like the demands have been varying as well. Like I've had 2 kids in between, so I've had like a full time, I've had to pay it back, I've had to build it back up, and then I've had another one, put it back down and back up. So it's just been like up and down over the years, and
that's actually
my
next question. How do you manage running a business and being a mum?
Well, I feel like that's just one of these things where the balance is kind of getting there, but it's not always there. It's been like the summer holidays there especially just felt like the biggest juggle ever. Like managing the business, the kids' arrangements were different all throughout the summer. Had a bit of time off. It was just a bit mental.
Do you, because your partner Dale's got like a normal job, do you pick up a lot of the slack? Not the slack, but
I technically work part time still because Libby's only 2, and but it's also because when Mark was tiny, he had that time for me as well. So I kind of want to keep them the same. So generally I take on a bit more, but he will pick up, if there's somebody that's sick or whatever else. We do kind of split that balance. It wasn't always like that. It was like a conversation that had to be had because I did feel like automatically I would pick up more when it was like that just because of my job. But then it had to be a bit fairer. So it is better.
Reason I asked that is because obviously we research and ask people what questions to ask, and one of the things this came up, and I felt like that a little bit as well. Like Owen's obviously nearly 15 now, so he doesn't need me. But when he was younger and he wasn't well, it would be like, oh well, Danny just works from home, so she could be there. And I was like, yeah, but I also have to do you know what I mean? And not just with that, a lot of people will be like, well, oh, Danny could take you to that appointment because she just works for herself. And I'm like, yeah, but I also actually have work to do.
Yeah.
And if I take 2 hours out of my day to go and do something, I then need to fit in those 2 hours elsewhere. So I think sometimes it's just assumed.
Sometimes, So I definitely did feel like that, but I've tried to communicate that more. Still probably it is like that a wee bit, or like see all the wee school events and stuff. It's partly me. It's like, but if I had a normal job, I probably wouldn't be able to go to them all, but I want to try and go to as much as I can. So, definitely. But then again, I've got to find the time elsewhere, which is usually like at night once the kids are in bed. But then because I've got a home studio now, that helps with that balance where I can kind of move my time if needed. But it can be tricky. Yeah.
So when you get up in the morning, like what makes you excited about going to KerrieALDO? Like what gets you going? Your favourite thing about working?
I don't really think about it until I actually get in the studio on the day, because obviously getting everyone organised for where they need to be. But I just I still like working for myself. Like I just like the calmness of being like in the studio, which probably isn't always calm, but no, I know what you mean. It is like
And if it is chaotic, it's your chaos.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
And I could just work through, usually like listen to podcasts or put on like a show while I'm sewing. Depends what I've got on, because if I'm working on a certain thing, then I can't like take in a podcast at the same time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
sometimes I pause a podcast and I'm like, oh, I didn't actually take any of that in, so I need to go back.
So I would put like radio or music on if I was really needing to focus.
That's good. Get you some enjoy it. Okay, so we're gonna focus on a bit of your inspiration. So who's been your biggest influences in your business or just in general?
Well, I'd say probably like I lost my brother before I actually started the business.
Yeah.
But I feel like the name kind of comes from his nickname, and like part of the logo is his kind of signature as well. So I feel like, and we like the same music.
Yeah.
Like that was kind of our thing. We like grew up like listening to all the indie music and sharing that, and kind of the clothes that went with it and the styles that we used to wear and stuff.
You can definitely see
I feel like that has been a big influence in my business and definitely my music taste and stuff. And just like kind of wanted to carry that name on as well.
Where do you see the business in 5 years?
I always find that a hard question.
I wouldn't even be able to answer
like
that.
I say, it's been like before Mark was born, I felt like it was kind of at the peak, and then I had to take it down a notch, back up, down a notch for Libby being born. So I feel like I'm not even, because I'm not doing it quite full time yet, although some weeks I definitely am. It just depends what I've got on. So I feel like I don't have the full energy, the full time to. So really, it's building back to that point.
I think that's a good goal though.
And then once I'm there, I'll make a plan for what's next. But I'm just passionate about, like, it started the way that it still is now after over 10 years of like just the quality handmade outerwear was the main thing, but obviously I've added in other designs and accessories and whatnot. But like, I don't ever really want to sway from like the kind of origin of it and how it was all made. So it's just like, it's hard to figure out how you expand much more when that is the way it's done without kind of losing quality or
and not even that. I just think you get to a point in your business where you're like, how do I expand this without some sort of like investment, or do you know what I mean? Like, there's only so much you could do when you're funding it yourself.
Yeah, that's true.
It's hard.
I feel like also sometimes I've put more into it, and then your outgoings get bigger. Yeah. And you're more stressed. So for me at the moment, I'm quite happy with the way it runs. And there's nothing like, I remember going into Isolated Heroes like to meet Sam once when I first maybe met her, and she introduced me to her team as like, oh, Danny's got a marketing agency, and I was like, it's not an agency, it's literally just me. And she was like, do you want it to be an agency? And I was like, I don't know, but she made me realise it doesn't need to be, like, it could just be you. And I was like, yeah, I suppose, but I totally get what you mean, because obviously our income's growing from the very, very start, and if I could see 5 years ago what we bring in now, I'd be like, oh my god, but I'm still juggling cash flow, the outgoings are bigger, we've got more stuff to pay. So it's like you always people will put like a financial goal and stuff, but it brings bigger problem. Like, exactly. Yeah, I've definitely like been in that position before, but currently starting working with freelancers again, which I'm building up again after taking time off with Libby. So I'd be working towards making that a bit more of a solid kind of thing, because I'm needing more help. But I do find that tricky to kind of get that balance of like, finding the people who are able to help that suits them as well, because I've not got like a full-time position for anyone, so it's quite tricky to find the right people. kind of working on that at the moment as well.
What advice would you give people that wanted to start like a fashion brand?
I don't know, I would just say like it's harder than it looks and just to be prepared for, like, I really did put my all into it, like, but especially before having the kids. Like, I'm not saying I don't now, I do now. I've just got maybe stricter boundaries of like switching off and like more restrictions on when I can and can't work. Whereas like before, like the time I put into it was crazy, but it was kind of needed as well to get it
to push
it. So and like that, it's not going to be built overnight. It's going to be something you're going to need to put years into to get probably to working towards the point that you're feeling that it is what you want it to be.
I agree with that. One of the questions that I got asked for a series I'm doing on Instagram was how I went self-employed, and the first thing that I'm going to say is I really worked hard. Like, there's no quick fix. I just put the hours in to build it. That's how it is.
The other thing I would also say is that a good piece of advice would be like nobody actually owes you anything, because see, at the very beginning, like I was always confident in my products and what I was making, but like I say, I didn't have a clue about pricing or whatever else. Like, I knew my product was good. I knew the fabrics I was using were good. I knew they looked good. I knew they were good enough to be aside other things in shops. But I didn't have a clue about the realities of like, well, to sell it at that price in the shop, they would need to buy it from you from such a price, or all that sort of stuff. And just because it might be of the same quality as something in a shop doesn't mean anyone owes you to put it in the shop, which I've not really went down that route often, but there's a few times where it's worked out. But not just in shops, just in general. Like, just because you think your business is good, it doesn't mean people are going to be like coming to you and saying, oh, I really want your thing. Do you know what I mean? You've got to work hard and you've got to know what you're doing before you go into stuff like that.
And as much as we work hard,
just that it looks good is not really good enough. You need to know more about it. As
much as we work hard on our businesses, people work hard for their money. So like they don't need to spend their money on whatever you're selling.
100%. And it's like that when it's not going to, like, your product is not going to be for everyone if it's a product or whatever it is you do. Like, just because you think it's a good product, it's maybe not the right price for somebody else. It's okay if it's not. It's okay if you just kind of
you find your right audience. For you. Okay, we're going to do a quick fire round. So like quick answers. Dream collab.
Oh, this is a hard one, Danny.
It's okay if you don't have one.
No, I don't really have one.
That's fine. That's fine. What's one word that sums up your brand journey so far?
Roller coaster.
Yes, I think loads of people will relate to that. And what would be your plan B job? So, like, if KerrieALDO disappeared tomorrow, what would you go and do?
Oh, I don't know. Like, the only thing, because I've been asked this before, and like that, I've never had a full-time job working for anyone else. But when I was going to uni, one of the things I applied for was like a costume design thing. So I guess that, but then I don't really know the realities of working in that industry either. It's totally different from fashion. I'd guess it'd be something creative.
Yeah, definitely need to be.
Or I always do think like I'm quite interested in the way people think, which has nothing to do with like with what I do. But I'm quite interested in like how people think and what makes them do what they do. Like maybe something like psychological or something.
That at all.
Always try to understand like why somebody's done something or why something makes sense. So I don't know, maybe you'd be interested in doing something like that.
Okay. Well, thank you, Kerrie. So the last bit, Kerrie can ask me a question. So what What do you want to ask me?
One thing that always totally baffles me about you is
God.
it's nothing bad. Is like, see when we first started doing the social media together and it was like a week in advance. I was like, I cannot get my head in that space to be planning even 1 week in advance, and now it's usually 2.
Do it too.
I'm just like, how do you manage? Because I know that you plan even further ahead than that. Because I've never been able to get into the headspace, which I kind of am now just for that. But in general, it's like week by week or day by day. Like, how do you get in a mindset where you can plan ahead so much like that?
I think because I've worked in marketing for 10 years now, it is a job where you always are thinking ahead. And I suppose with Green Creatives, obviously we help so many clients now. I know that I need to be organised to keep them organised.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? So I suppose it's just been drummed into me since I've left uni, because that's the type of job that I've had. I remember when I worked at Cartel, I used to print off a calendar. So say we were in it would get to the 5th of the month and I still hadn't planned the following month, I would start being like, oh no, even though there's still pretty much a month to go.
Yeah.
And I don't know, just since then I've always just had it in me, we need to keep planning. I don't enjoy it. Actually, I hate it because I feel like time just disappears. And I've always got to be thinking. But yeah, I suppose I'm just in the habit of it. But in my head, this will give you an insight. So I'll be... there's stuff that I've got to do in the house that we need to get sorted, and I'm like, right, I won't think about that until we come back from Ireland. Now we're back from Ireland, I'm like, oh right, we really need to start thinking about this.
So even in your personal life you think like that?
Constantly think like that, whereas Chris is honestly just takes step by step, day to day, whereas I'm like, no Chris, it's Owen's birthday in 8 weeks, we need to start thinking about that. He's like, no we don't. We put money into Monzo pots for different things, and last night I was like, so what's the Christmas Monzo pot looking like? He was like, and he went in it. I was like, because we'll need to start thinking about that. He's like, so I think I'm just one of those people. But how I manage it, we use Asana. It's like a task management tool. So my Asana's got all the weeks of the year, so week commencing, and if someone comes to my head, I'll scroll down and put it in that week.
So you can kind of glance ahead.
Yeah, the team, the girls, I usually do theirs week by week, but it just repeats. So 1 week we work on your content, the next week. So all the clients are in blocks.
Yeah.
So the week we're working on yours, there's other clients we work on. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it
becomes a bit of a routine. Yeah.
That's it. Do you have any other questions?
Yeah, what's your favourite thing you've ever worked on for yourself, for your own business? Is that too hard a question? No. Or what type of work do you like doing best then?
I do enjoy the social media stuff. Now that I'm kind of taking a step back from it and the girls are working on it more, I enjoy it more. So if I get a client, if Amy's on holiday and I worked on your stuff, I was like, oh, I love that. But when I'm doing it all the time, it does get hard going. I don't know I can't think of a specific project that I've worked on. I'm not just saying this because you're here, but you are one of the favourite people that I've ever worked with. Your stuff just blows my mind. And before Kerrie even inquired with me, I remember saying to my dad, I really want to be Kerrie's pal. He was like, all right, okay, because I got a quote for him for his 50th.
Yeah.
So yeah, your brand is amazing and I've loved everything that we've done together. I like seeing how brands grow. Fern's opened her salon and it was just her, and now she's got a big team. They're booked out all the time, nobody can get an appointment. Obviously that's not just because what we do, but yeah, I think I get gratitude out of that. And we actually got a text yesterday from someone that's not a client, but they kind of have a business on the side, and they were just like, hi Danny, I just wanted to text you saying what you do is so inspiring. And I was like, oh, when I read it, but I don't feel like it is. I just show up and say what I think.
Yeah, I suppose it's when you're in it, you don't. I think when you've asked a few questions, I'm like,
I don't know,
You don't think about it like that when you're just doing it every day. But
I love working with creative people, and also like the team that I've built. I'm proud that I've not only gave myself a job out of this, but I've managed to give other people a job. And when I was at uni, like, well, graduated 10 years ago, it was like, oh, you'll need to move down to London to get a job in marketing and all that. And I'm glad that I've now brought opportunities here.
That was kind of the same when I graduated, and like, I feel like obviously like losing my brother. If it wasn't for that, like, there's probably a chance I would have went to London, but it was a bit hard to go away from family.
Your families, definitely.
And like Dale was studying in Dundee at that time as well, so. But then there was examples of like Hayley had just started her own brand, and Sam, who was like Isolate Heroes, she was the year above me at uni, so she was a friend as well. And like, I think having those examples does like kind of inspire people to realise like they can do their own thing. But it's not always the easy route, but no, and I do think Dundee does have such a creative buzz about it. Like, obviously Sam, Hayley, your brand, there's loads of jewellers, like really talented jewellers. Jolene as well.
Jolene, there's loads of,
like, Jolene's fangirl.
We love Jolene, don't we? Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming on, Kerrie. And I will put all Kerrie's website and social details in the podcast description. And you can go and have a look at her stuff. Thanks.